Hey, thank you for coming by Tory Magoo 44. Today is the 16th of October 2017, and I'm really happy you guys came by my YouTube site. Thank you. Anyway, last night, a gentleman named Aaron Smith Levin, who's a friend of mine, did a live Q&A, like answering questions on the internet. I don't know how to do that, or I would do it. If anyone wants to show me, call me, let me know, and you can teach me and I'll do it, because I'd be happy to do it. I just don't know how. So anyway, he was talking and someone asked him about Jet Travolta, number one, and then people started asking me about myself, Tory Magoo, and some of the things he had wrong. And he said, I might have these wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. And he's wrong. He just, part of it is my opinion, but most of it is how it is actually factually what happened. So I'm going to start with factually what happened. I was in Scientology for 30 years. Most of you know that. I escaped out in 2000, and I've been speaking out ever since. I wasn't going to, but Scientology kept picking on me, which is what they always do to people, and thus they create their own enemies. So I started speaking out. I thought, hey, I've got free speech too. So there you go. I've made about over 800, 900 videos, and they're all, short videos. This one will be too. I only have 10 minutes, so this will be part one, and then I'll probably do a part two. Okay, so part one of Scientology torturing epileptics and just medical abuse in general. I have epilepsy. I was in for 30 years. Scientology is like a triangle. Yes, I got auditing. Yes, I was in the Sea Org. Yes, they kicked me out of the Sea Org because I needed my medicine. I ran out of medicine in 1972 on a ship. Or no, I think I was on the ship. And I said, I ran out of my medication. I need to get more. And they sent me to the MLO, medical liaison officer, some 18-year-old kid, not trained in medicine at all, who said, we're the top 10% of the planet, and you have to get off your medication. We're going to put you on vitamins and Dianetics, and that'll fix it. And I was a 22-year-old kid, and I thought, okay, I believed him. I thought Dianetics worked. I really did. And I'm here to tell you right now, if you don't listen to any more of this video, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't fix any physical conditions at all. Now, maybe there's somebody out there who thinks it fixed it, and I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying don't count on it, because it basically does not. It's more like talk therapy. It can help you through some upsets that you have, something like that. But as far as real handling a physical condition, doesn't work. Okay, there you go. That's my number one statement on it. Number two is that, yes, they kicked me out of the Sea Org, saying it wasn't really kicked out. They just said, you have to get off your medication. I started having grand mal seizures, really, really bad grand mal seizures. And my mother, thank God, she's gone now, but I, bless her heart, stayed on top of it. And if you have a child in Scientology, I can't say it enough, stay on top of them if you can, if they'll talk to you. My mother did, because I was doing Good Roads, Fair Weather with her, because, of course, she was the suppressive person, because I have epilepsy, right? So anyway, she stayed on top of it and started calling me. And finally, I was losing my short-term memory, having all these grand mal seizures. And she said, Tori, they're going to kill you. They are. You've got to get back on your medication. So she called me one night. She said, what are you doing tonight? I said, I'm going out on a date. The next day, she called me. How's your date? I said, what date? She said, all right, that's it. Either you're on medication today and your doctor calls me today and says you're on medication, or I'm going to fly from Chicago to Los Angeles, and trust me on this, L. Ron Hubbard and the Church of Scientology will never forget your mother. So that started me, thankfully, taking my medication again, and I haven't had a seizure in 30 years. Yes, I did get auditing. Aaron said I couldn't get auditing on my medication. Not true, because I fought them. Another guy totally bought their program of get off your medication who had epilepsy, and he's dead. So, I knew it was a life-threatening thing. I just knew it. And I'm a strong person, so I fought them for many, many years. But my medication, it doesn't matter what kind of medication I take. Dr. Denk called flag. In 1989, they again tried to say, this young kid said, well, you're not allowed on the flag land base. And I said, really? And I did the taxi cab driver thing. You talking to me? And I just kept doing it over and over. Finally, the head of the tech area came and said, okay, he's wrong. Write up what all the stuff you've done and you can get your auditing. And everything that we've done in the past has been suppressive to you regarding medication. So, many, many times people, even me, with them ordering me out of the Sea Org and getting off my medication, 10 years later, Ken Hoden's wife got with me and said, look, that was wrong. We should not have done that. Okay. But it's too late. The damage was already done. And I was still, that's how it's so weird, because one person can say it was wrong. She was a big executive. He was the president of the church, right? And she was like, oh, that was wrong. We shouldn't have done it. Too late. The rest of the whole church is still treating me like an epileptic, which brings me to John Travolta, which Aaron said he felt like, he shouldn't be blamed for it. I don't think John Travolta should be blamed. I don't think blame is the thing. When somebody's in a cult, they're in a cult. They're mind controlled. They're doing what the technology says to do. As well as, wait a minute, I have it here. It's in writing. In this Science of Survival, this is one of the books. In that is a chart of human evaluations. In this chart of human evaluation, if you want to find it somewhere, you can even probably Google it, but it says someone with a neurological illness, it used to say neurological illness and homosexuals are 1.1. 1.1 is, they're all different tone levels that L. Ron Hubbard came up with, and other people before him. But he stole it and said it was his, the tone scale. And, there are people, that are more, they're cheerier, they're enthusiasm, down to grief, anger, hatred, down to death, right? There's a whole chart of human tone levels. But 1.1, he said, was the most insidious tone level of all, because you can't trust them. They're awful people. It's a whole horrible thing about people. And I am not 1.1. I mean, the fact that I have epilepsy and they decided I'm 1.1. I mean, I would go get a job and they would say, well, are you still on your medication? I mean, that's a violation of the HIPAA laws right there. It's awful. But why would someone like John Travolta mention that his kid had autism? Autism is definitely thought of as a psych illness. Epilepsy is not, but they treated it like it was. They did. And that's where Aaron's wrong also. It's like, my medicine is not psych medicine. Dr. Dank, who was L. Ron Hubbard's doctor, called them and said, her medicine is not a mind-altering drug. It's okay for her to get auditing. I still had to fight the entire flag land base in 1989. And I did. I said, I want all my folders sent up to RTC, which is the top dogs, and they can decide, because I think you haven't misunderstood on what L. Ron Hubbard was talking about. And sure enough, they ended up correcting the entire flag land base on medicine, right? And I was allowed to do my OT levels on my medicine, right? But it was still an endless fight of people constantly dragging me into a room. Did you get off your medicine yet? Have you handled epilepsy yet? It's nobody's business. It really isn't. So as far as John Travolta and Jet, all right, I'm almost done with my 10 minutes. So I'm going to do part 2 with the Travolta thing. So that was me with my medicine. I did get my auditing. It isn't a mind-altering drug. They do have now around the church, if you have a medical condition, see a doctor. That's because of people like me who suffered through their total medical abuse. And I still think the text is still, there's my 10 minutes. Bye. I'll talk to you in a